Oh, hello, everyone. Yes, hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. It's so wonderful to be with you again today. My name is Michael Smith, the National Education Manager of Janome Canada, but I'm thrilled to be back here in the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook Live, which again, we're streaming live to Janome Canada Facebook, Janome HQ YouTube, and Janome America YouTube. Again, any opportunity to share the Janome love. And I'm back to share with you that, oh yes, maybe today for Christmas that you received a fabulous new Janome machine under your tree, or maybe some fabulous attachments like the Janome circular attachment, or maybe some presser feet like the binder foot. Maybe you've received some, again, attachments and accessories and you're wondering, what do I do with them? How can I find out more information? So I'm here to share with you some resources, whether you're in Janome Canada or Janome America, and ultimately Janome all around the world. There's lots of information available to you 24/7 at your fingertips. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and let's hope I get this all correct. As I share my screen with you, so we can see, for example, when we go on to Janome America, Janome.com, we will see, I can do this, yes. So we can see that, yes, we go on to Janome.com, for example, if we're in America and we get a new machine. For example, right up the very top, it says that we can register our machine. So very important that we do that. But then we can scroll down here to the products tab, for example, and machines. So let's say if you didn't receive a new machine, but you would like to find out more about, for example, the fabulous CM17, we just type in whatever machine we're wanting more information about, selected, and boom, there comes the suggested manufacturer's retail price. But, always check with your local Janome dealer to see what deals they may offer. But you can find out more about machines if you're thinking of purchasing a machine. You can find out more just on the websites. You can download things like the brochures, the features and benefits pages, look at the accessories that are included. There's usually a list of optional accessories included, for example. So there's lots of information. Look at all of this, lots right at your fingertips. Now, if you're considering many models, you've got a model comparison. So here is my CM17, but I'd like to see how it compares to another model that I'm looking at, for example. So we can scroll through to see whatever machine in comparison. So let's say, I'm going to look to see how does this compare to the Continental M8, for example. That's a sister machine within the Continental range. So we can view up to 4 different machines. How does it compare to the 6650, for example? So we've got 4 different machines that we can compare to see the various features. So we find the best machine for us. And we can even, as I scroll back up here, we can even download the instruction manuals of a lot of the machines. So we don't even have to purchase the machine. We can download the manuals, read out more about the machine before we even get it at home. Or again, you have the machine at home and in all your excitement, you maybe accidentally threw away that manual with the packaging. So you can go on the various websites, Janome Canada, Janome America, and you will find out the manual. So that is a wonderful resource. Again, lots of information on the websites. Now, if I go then back to, we go to, again, Janome America or Janome Canada. Let's go back to Janome America. Again, I'm going to then scroll down to the products tab again, and then go to the accessories tab. Now here we've got the Janome accessory compatibility guide. We click learn more. So this will help us determine, do we have a 9mm machine, a 7mm machine, or a 5mm machine? Is it a high shank or a low shank? Now that's very important information. especially as we get different presser feet and attachments. We need to make sure the correct one for our machine. For example, that circular attachment, it fits into a number of different models. There's one for the easy set, for example, and then there is one that has a square bobbin holder and a rectangular bobbin holder. So we really need to see which one is the correct one for a machine. So that Janome compatibility accessory guide will give us a heads up about our machine. But here, when I go into the search box and I go find accessories, there I'm starting to type in circular sewing attachment, and it comes up automatically, and then boom, I can select it. So how fabulous is this, that it shows us the circular sewing attachment, what it does, and then there, most importantly, there are the model numbers, for example, for the easy set model. So you would then write this down and go take it to your Janome dealer if you're looking to purchase it, or you're looking to, gift it for someone and you need to know that they got the correct one for their machine. So you can find out, again, a lot of information here to purchase it. But then if you already purchased it, again, full instructions in the blister pack. But did you see down here, there's even a video that's embedded right.
Circular sewing attachment.
I'll just cut the volume there, but yes, so this takes us to there's many videos on YouTube, which I'll get into in a moment. But there we go. There's a video right there, so we can see more about it, regardless of which circular sewing attachment for your machine. They all work the same. They just fit in the bobbin area a little different, as demoed in this video. So that's very, very helpful right there. So again, lots of information right on our respective Janome websites. So that's wonderful. Now, let's say we already have these attachments, like the circular sewing attachment. We see that little video there, but again, we want more information. Where can we find more? Well, of course, these lives definitely help. You can go back to the feed in the respective Janome Canada Facebook Live, or Janome America, Janome Sewing Machine Facebook Live, and you scroll back in the feed and you'll see the presentations as well. You could use the video tab, or depending on what device you're on, there may be a media tab or a more tab, and you find the video tab there. There's a search box. You can type in the circular sewing attachment, for example, in the search box, and then all those related previous live presentations will come up. So that's also a great resource right here on Facebook. So we can scroll back to those previous presentations. But then let's go back to share the screen. And another great place we can go to is, yes, YouTube. Sure. Now, Janome America YouTube, we've got, even Janome Australia, Janome UK. You can go to YouTube and then type in whatever Janome you'd like to see. So here is Janome America, for example, and we can see the most previous presentation, the most recent presentations here. There's our fabulous Miriam demonstrating the quilt binder attachment, for example. Now here is me from a few days ago where I demonstrated the circular sewing attachment, for example. So the most recent presentations will be up first, but we can always go into playlists and see, look at all the resources here at your fingertips, various playlists. Oh, look, lives with Michael Smith. So that's wonderful. You can find them by educator or by what they are. We can even go up here to, again, the search box and go to circular sewing attachment. And boom, there is that little video that we saw in the accessories tab on the Janome.com website. But again, look at more about, there's the Circles of Cheer wall panels that I was doing the other day. That is a free project on Janome.ca, for example, within the Inspire tab. There's lots of Inspire tab projects on Janome.com as well. So here, more about the circular sewing attachment, and then it gets into more related presentations. So again, this is all on Janome America's YouTube specifically. But then let's get back into so many buttons to push. So when I go into, oh yes, Janome Canada's YouTube channel, Janome HQ stands for Janome Headquarters. So Janome Canada. Now, again, where the most recent lives will be up here first. But again, we can go into our respective playlists. And ours will be a little different than Janome America since we have like different makers. For example, our fabulous Kim Jamison Hurst over here about the 500E, 550E. So we can scroll back, and specifically when we started doing all these lives at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, most of us had never done lives, myself included. And I started doing a lot of Janome Canada and Janome HQ Instagram lives. And I uploaded them to YouTube, for example, because not everyone has Instagram. So here, the A to Z with Janome series, I click on the playlist. So for example, I scroll down to C for the circular sewing attachment. So I click on that. Now there's always ads.
Self-employed in Canada?
There's always ads. I was trying to cut the volume there. There's always going to be ads initially in YouTube, but here, so these were Instagram from May 15th, 2020. Oh, look at me, no beard. So these are Instagram live presentations that I screen recorded so I could load them to YouTube. So they are tall and skinny on YouTube. Of course, everyone would love them filmed, horizontal landscape mode, but Instagram didn't allow me to do that. That's why they're tall and skinny. They're meant to be viewed on your smartphone. But again, not everyone has Instagram. So that's why I've uploaded them to the Janome HQ YouTube channel. So yes, they're tall and skinny. They don't fill the screen, but oh, look, you can still see there I'm demoing using the elongation function that's built into a number of Janome machines, using it with the circular sewing attachment. So you can still get a lot of good tips and tricks. There I am doing some more demos. So you can still see and hear what I'm doing, even though it doesn't quite fill your screen, but at least it's a resource. So there I'm doing more demos. So again, lots of information here about all the lettered Janome presser feet, for example. So that's an A to Z with Janome series. Or we can go back to the main playlist here, and another good one, well, I think they're all good, but if we go to put your best foot forward, for example, compilation of various presser feet demos, or up here, Janome's awesome accessory countdown. So view playlist. So when we want information about our ribbon sewing guide, for example, or the free motion couching foot set, or again, the quilt binder attachment was number 4 that I demo how to miter those corners that everybody wants to know. And even some of these serger feet, do you know that there's serger presser feet, like the gathering foot, and there's a piping foot for your serger that you can find out more. A blind hem foot, that was countdown number 8, the blind hem foot and the cloth guide available for your serger. So there's a lot available on our, again, respective YouTubes, Janome.com, here at Janome HQ, YouTube with Janome's awesome accessory countdown. But again, also consider Janome Australia, Janome UK. They've all got lots of good information to share. So YouTube is definitely your friend. I love YouTube, and you can just get lost in hours. A lot of the times I have my laptop here down in my sewing room, and I have various videos going on as I'm doing those demos, so I can see step by step what they're doing. But it's also just good inspiration to have on in the background. And then I hear, oh, wait, what is that they're doing? And run up to the computer to see what they're up to. So lots of good information to share on YouTube. And then let's go to share the screen again, and we will go to our Janome Global site. So here is our main Janome. Our parent company is in just outside of Tokyo, Japan. Janome is Japanese, as I'm sure you all know. So here is our English version, English translated version of the main Janome Japan website. So this is a great resource of information about machines and new product and any kind of updates that may be happening. We can scroll down. We can learn a little more about the Janome brand itself, how it came about. It's, now 103 years old, I think, soon to be 104. But here we can go to machine owners and information and updates and click on that tab. And oh, look, if you have a CM17, for example, here are things like if there's any updates to the machines, they will be here that we can click on the actual update. So for example, Continental M17 recently got updated to version 2.0, for example. Click on it. Well, here is the update. Now it says it's only for the M17, but it goes on why is there an update? What's going to happen if you do it? PDF instructions you can print out, which I always recommend. You have to click this little button here to say, check that you have read all these instructions, you understand. There is the download. You click on that to download it to your computer. Then you unzip the file, copy it to a USB stick, and put it into your machine to follow the update. So there's to why is the update. So that's great information. Anytime, again, any of the updates, there's more about other machines, Continental M8, Continental M6, Skyline S9, on and on and on. You can go through to see any updates that may be available for your machine. When I scroll up here to the top and then go to software in the apps. So software programs like Embroidery Editor, for example, that comes with a number of Janome embroidery machines or embroidery combo machines. There's been a recent update to that. There is a new hoop for the 550E, for example. So you will need to update the embroidery editor because of that. Oh, that AccuStitch embroidery software comes with some machines like the 550 ELE limited edition machine, but there's been some updates to it to include things like ruler work, for example. And you can go to the Janome Global site to click here to software and apps to find out more about the updates, things like AccuFill quilting, for example, the AccuSetter app that we will use again for specific machines. Stitch Composer, for example, a number of machines come with Stitch Composer. So we can scroll through any kind of software, any kind of apps, like Embroidery Link, for example, that is used with the CM17. All of those updates are here. So we can go to, again, the Janome Global site, software and updates to find that. Oh, one of my favorite categories in the Janome Global site is the Janome Bulletins tab. Now here, again, AccuStitch I mentioned, we can click on this Janome Bulletin. And I personally print these all out. I put them in page protectors in a red binder labeled Janome Bulletins. So that way I have them at a glance so I can go back and review. So for things like, yes, the part number. So if this software didn't come with our machine, we can quote this part number to our Janome dealer and say, would you order this for me? They may have it in their store already, or they could order it from the respective Janome warehouse. And then again, it mentions about that new SQ10B hoop, for example, for the 550E, 500E, 450E, for example. So more information on these bulletins. I absolutely love them. So when we can scroll down, for example, for Cover Pro machines, we have a new sailing line of sergers, and there is a new cloth guide just for that sailing line of sergers. So far, the Mylock 454D is the first in the new sailing line of Janome sergers. So this new cloth guide, for example, with this part number, only applies to that model. There is a similar cloth guide that fits all the other sergers. There's just something different about the sailing line of sergers, why it needed a new cloth guide, for example. So that bulletin is there on Janome Global site to find out more. We can scroll down for sewing machines. So what's new with sewing machines, and especially accessories? So let's say you have a 7 or 5 millimeter machine and you just recently got in your stocking a 1/4 inch seam foot without a guide. Here is the part number if you'd like to order one, if you didn't get this for Christmas. But they're saying, why? What does this matter by having the guide? So the picture on the right shows with the guide, the picture on the left shows without the guide. And by not having that guide, that little dog ear triangle isn't going to get hung up with the guide as it is on the right. So you'll find out a little bit more information about these new presser feet, for example. On the right-hand side, you see some of the convenient 1/4 inch markings that are built into the foot. So if you've just received this foot and you're excited to use it, there is always instructions on the back of the blister packs how to use all of the presser feet and accessories. But you may find out more information on the Janome Global site when you go into the Bulletins tab, and more and more and more. Look at all of those fabulous bulletins about, for example, the ribbon sewing guide that I had mentioned earlier, that's on the Janome's awesome accessory countdown on Janome HQ YouTube. Well, here, this is a bulletin. There is the part number. The great thing about the ribbon sewing guide, it'll fit almost every Janome machine. Doesn't matter if it's 5 millimeter, 7 millimeter, 9 millimeter, it'll fit almost every machine. And you can read more about it on the Janome Global site in the Bulletins tab. So that is fabulous. Again, so much information at your fingertips, available 24/7, whenever is convenient for you. Your Janome dealer is always a great resource, but again, they're not always available 24/7. So here, go to the Janome Global site. You can access all of this information whenever you wish. When I scroll to the bottom here and I see accessories, here is a PDF copy of I'll scroll back to the beginning here. Here is a PDF copy which you may download and print out if you wish. And again, I would put this in page protectors and keep it in a binder so it's handy, or at least put it with a bulldog clip so it's next to your machine. So for example, when we want to learn a little more what presser feet are and attachments are compatible with our machine, we can look through this guide, and they're all categorized, A, B, C, D, and so on. And we look to see with the description, for example, category B is embroidery only models. So if you have a 450E, for example, a 500E, a 550E, 550E LE, that B is your machine category. So we scroll through this list, there's 80 pages, and we find lots of information here. For example, what the grooves on the back of the foot mean. What is that little black button on our A foot, the zigzag foot? What does that little black button do? So much information all about our fabulous AccuFeed Flex feet that are available for a number of machines. So we can scroll through this guide and see, I just need a few minutes for my computer to catch up to me. We can scroll and see the various presser feet, for example, and it'll show like the gathering foot, for example, and then over to the right are all the part numbers, and then there you see A, C, D, E, F, for example, and then you see another part number that says G, and another part number that says NOPQ. So there again, this gathering foot is available for almost every kind of Janome sewing machine. It's obviously, I don't see a B in the category list anywhere. Again, that's those embroidery only machines. So this gathering foot is not applicable for the embroidery only machines, for example, since embroidery, whereas the gathering foot is sewing. So again, we can scroll through and it just takes a little bit for my computer to catch up to me. We want to learn more about ruler quilting, which ruler foot for my machine, for example, all this information right at our fingertips. So that is another fabulous resource on the Janome Global site. And even instruction manual download. We can even find some information here. So again, there is so much available on our various Janome websites and YouTube, Janome Global site, again, available 24/7. But very quickly, lastly, I wanted to also share. So regardless of where you are in the world, you can probably access all of this information too. That's another good thing. Being able to share the Janome love around the world. Another great resource is, yes, our Janome Life blog. So you type in your browser, Janome Life, and then here, again, I recently did a presentation, again, about this adorable Circles of Cheer wall hanging. Again, you go on janome.ca, regardless where you are in the world. You can probably go on janome.ca and download it for free. But here, there's a search box over in the right-hand side, for example. So if I want, again, we'll just use that circular sewing attachment. If I want more information about the circular sewing attachment, I can type it in the search box and up comes all the related blogs. One about the Circles of Cheer wall panels, of course. But even previously, our fabulous educator Celine has written one earlier. She made a pillow using it one. I did another live presentation not long ago. So even the lives that they're being advertised for the lives, but even if I click on those, we have great information again about the links that will take us, for example, to the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook page. So those blogs that are promoting the respective lives, they're still a great resource of information, even after the live is finished, because they've got links again to the Facebook page. There I was talking about that Circles of Cheer wall panels. So again, we can scroll back and it'll show the most recent lives. Or again, and we just go to that post, Janome Life blog post, and we can find those links. And then, as I mentioned earlier, again, depending on your device, there's the more little tab, and I click videos. And here, this is where I can see the latest videos, for example. And I have a search box, and I can type in circular sewing attachment. Or we can search by educator, for example, and there all the related posts to the circular sewing attachment. My computer needs a few more minutes to think. But yes, they all come up there. So we can find all of that on our Janome Life blog. We just type in the search box, and then we can find out the information there. So thank you everyone so much for joining me today. That's a little whirlwind information that whatever Janome machine or pressure boot or attachment that you may have received for either Christmas or at any time of year, you can always go online, especially 24/7 to your respective Janome.com, Janome.ca, Janome Australia, Janome UK. There's Janomes all around the world to help you get more from those machines and attachments and pressure feet, so you can get the most from them. So all of those resources are available to you 24/7. And of course, don't forget your fabulous Janome dealer that may not be available 24/7, but always check in with them too, and they can share with you, what's new and what's happening as well. There's always so much with Janome, and there's going to be more in the new year. So thank you everyone so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Thank you. Bye.